You're muted, Alaska. Okay, it's the 24th of November, 2024, and this is an NGL intro on the topic of risking our significance in care for the whole, finding non-reactive discernment as a path of liberation. Welcome, everyone. Lots of familiar faces. And one new face that I'm not recognizing, that's Karen. Is that accurate? Welcome in particular. Do you want to say what led you to choose to be here today? I'm going to ask everyone, and I like to welcome new people, especially in a smaller group.
I've been curious about NGL for a while. I've been joining the mailing list, and today I thought I would just give it a try and join the meeting.
Okay, everyone, be on best behavior, please. Welcome.
Thank you.
So there is no set plan for this particular series of NGL intros. So I build what happens from what happens. And so I would like to start by seeing if there is anyone here who came here because of specific connection to the topic and what that means to you. Is there anyone who came here because the topic is meaningful to you? Oh, and I think there's another new face. Ilona, are you here for the first time? Or have I just missed you in previous settings?
No, it's the second time. I've been here last time as well, and also spoke a little and introduced myself last time.
Okay, thank you. So I missed you, and I feel very sad about it, because I know all of us carry enough wounds to where if we're not noticed, it feels significant. And I hope you're not taking it personally.
Not at all.
Great. Okay, still the question. Yes, Oni.
Yeah, I think the topic is meaningful to me for two reasons. Also, it's really nice to see you at this early hour, which is so much more lively for me. One is that because I often have different needs in spaces than most people, I'm often navigating this question of how to hold care for the whole, including myself. And the other reason is in my leadership, I'm often in spaces where people turn to me for guidance around how to navigate challenges of wanting to encourage everyone to speak up and at the same time wanting to focus on our purpose and not knowing how to weave those things together.
Thank you. I also, before I respond to you, two things. One, that I haven't yet turned off my chat, but I just did it. But before I turned it off, I discovered that there's one other person who is here for the first time, and I didn't know it before because you didn't turn on your camera. And I want to say I generally ask people to turn on the camera because this isn't a passive experience being here in events with me. It's co-created, even though I'm the one leading, there's co-creation within that led field. And anyone who turns off their camera is leaning on others to create the field. So I would like to invite people to participate if at all possible for you. And Satya, do you want to say what led you to come? You're muted.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm probably going to not look at the screen and close my eyes, listen. So, if I'm happy to leave the camera on, but it will be of maybe the room. I don't know. No. I'm here because I am on a journey of navigating away from working on moving away from patriarchy in what I call this system where I have excluded myself, and I'm trying to make sense of myself as a mixed race woman and the conditioning as a woman that I've had, and I'm curious about NGL as a way to hold both the I and the we. And yes, I'm here for that. I'm curious.
Wow, it's just like in like 2-3 small sentences, you packed your lens of a project that I think many of us who've been around for a while in relation to NGL would recognize very deeply. And I am feeling really touched. And I have one piece that is coming to me to share with you in support of your journey. And first, just can you say where you're calling from?
I'm in Glasgow in Scotland, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning.
There is one of the people who started NGL with me lives in Glasgow. Do you know that?
Veren.
Yeah, it sounds like you know her.
Yes, I do know Verena. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, fabulous. So the piece that I want to give you, which isn't, never mind what I was going to. The piece that I want to give you is you framed wanting to walk away from patriarchy and this and this and this. And I want to give you the pathway of where are you walking towards? Because if we only walk away from, it's not going to give us a direction. It's more likely to be reactive. I don't want that. But what is it that I do want? This is why just about everything that we do within NGL starts with vision. Because vision has that power to pull you in a direction and not just in reaction. When we are against something, we're still not moving from within our power. We are using against energy to move, and against energy is not precise. And it doesn't by necessity go to life. Like the other day, I can't remember even who I was talking with. That person said, I want a different world or whatever. And I said to her, Nazi Germany was a different world. And that's what I want to hold for us. Different doesn't spell what it looks like. And the more we know what it looks like, the more we can start finding it within and shaping it. So that's my gift for you for today. And whatever amount of you that you're going to give us, I'm going to welcome.
Thank you. What a gift. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. And I also had the thought when you started speaking, and I'm just going to say, I think you're in the right place for what you said. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Back to Ronnie and then Han. Ronnie, are you up for continuing the conversation?
Yes, I'm just having breakfast.
The two are not mutually exclusive in my world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also want to just, for anyone who doesn't know, which may be many, the values and principles that these NGL intros are based on were articulated and put together from lots of work and feedback and thinking and working out divergences between Ronnie, Emma, and me, who are the agreements team. So it's a particular delight to have you here, to have a conversation about it from a different angle. So you had two parts to your framing of why you're here. And I somehow want to start from the second, but enough happened that I want you to say it again because it's not sharp in my memory.
Yeah, the first piece was about
No, the second.
The second piece is about because I'm leading in a lot of spaces. People are often turning to me for guidance. I would almost say like also just a alignment check in terms of values of how to navigate the tension around people wanting to speak up and risk their significance and bring up what they have concerns about and having enough movement towards purpose and staying focused on what we want to do together.
Yeah. So I want to speak to this because I think it has within it one of the dilemmas of the journey of risking our significance, which is we come into it from being told we're not significant, from being told shut up, from being told just do what you're supposed to do, or from being told lead in this particular way. It's not necessarily being told to not be at all. It's being told to be in particular ways.
I really appreciate you adding that because it resonates with me. I was very much raised to speak up, but in a very clear box of these are the ways in which we speak up and lead.
Yeah. And when we have the task of finding our power, our muscles, our integration muscles are by definition weak because we were and we have been trained into very, very deep-rooted either or. All kinds of either or. One of which is I or others. That is so deeply rooted in us that even when people start wanting to change it, they speak of balance, not integration. I did that for a while until I woke up to balance actually being within scarcity. It's like it's a trade-off. This and this are a trade-off, so we need to find a balance, which essentially is a compromise. We give up some of this and we give up some of this, and then it's okay. And the shift into integration is a shift of possibility. It's a shift of, it's what I was saying to Satya. It's a shift of moving towards. And so the question is not, does everybody speak up or do we do purpose? It's like, how do we choose whether and how to speak up in a way that is oriented to purpose? And that is something that I want us to be able, if people turn to us with questions about it, I want us to be able to walk them through either oring.
Yeah, I have a sense that this piece is quite integrated in me. So I'm able, I believe even as I presented what was bringing me here, I was talking about weaving it together, and I don't think of it in terms of balance or trade-off. I think
I wasn't saying anything about you. I was speaking more generally. That is how the things are generally framed. Yeah.
Oh, I totally see that.
Yeah. So then did I miss what you wanted me to speak to?
Well, I was sharing why I was here, so I didn't exactly say what I wanted you to speak to, so I don't think you missed it so much as it was not shared.
Got it.
I think there are two things in that area that I would enjoy some perspectives on. One is power differences mixed into this,
Mhm.
and it becomes quite gnarly, especially when people see me as or put me in a position of deciding which things are sufficiently woven into purpose and which are not. So that is an interesting thing to navigate. And the other piece is that sometimes we simply do not know how to weave things into purpose,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we get stuck.
Yeah. I want to replace stuck with mourning. It's like any time that could be near a rule. If I'm stuck with something, let's start with mourning and then see what new possibilities emerge. So I think I want to leave it at that for the moment and continue to see what unfolds. Unless there is any follow-up from anyone. I'm seeing you, Hunger. You're next on my line, but I want to see if there's more in this area because it's so profound to that question of how to risk our significance. And I'm discovering one more thing, which is given that a person who is going to experiment with risking their significance, especially early on, there's so much they need to overcome inside. They're unlikely to think about purpose on their own. Because thinking about purpose is its own muscle that we don't have exercised. To both do the muscle of taking myself seriously and thinking about shared purpose is like a two-step thing. And so if I'm in a position to help people, I want to guide them through thinking, what is the purpose? Just take a moment to think for yourself, what is our shared purpose? Is it living in you? Breathe into it a couple of breaths, and now see what you want to bring in and speak up about. And see, how do you direct what you want to say towards that shared purpose? And if it isn't part of the shared purpose, what do you want to do about that? How do you want us to integrate? Would you like me to try to see the connection? Would you like to accept that this may not be the moment for you to speak? Would you like to ask us to stretch and hear you, even though it's not on purpose? What is it that you want to do? And the moment we guide people through what they want to do, instead of either doing what their intention was already or giving up on that intention, in that moment, we support them in risking their significance and in weaving with purpose in that way. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you. That was really, really helpful.
Thank you.
I see how this frame is a little more integrated than what I've been holding, so I can show up differently to have that conversation.
Fabulous.
I don't understand,
Yeah.
Nikki. Sorry, I didn't understand something that you said about the intention. Someone has the intention of what they would like to do, and then and what
Okay.
yes, that difference.
Okay, so let's say I've decided that I'm going to speak up. My intention is to speak up. And if I haven't done the work of liberation, integration, opening up, relaxing into multiple possibilities and all of that, then I am already in an either or. I either speak up exactly the way I intended to, or I don't speak up and shut up and give up. And in that lack of flexibility, I lose power. Yeah? And you
Yeah.
know, you were speaking earlier about being a biracial woman. It becomes
Multiracial.
multiracial.
Yeah.
I'm regretting if I misquoted you. And that puts you in a position of two challenges to finding that power. One is that you don't fully belong in any group.
That's right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You may identify in this way or that way, but no one group is exactly like you. And the other is that although you don't belong to any one group, you certainly don't belong to the dominant group. And within that, there can be, I'm not speaking about you, I'm just giving an existential social phenomenon within the patriarchal world, which is if you have less power, it's socially, it's harder to find the power within if it doesn't go through I'm going to speak up because I've been oppressed for centuries and it's my turn now. When that is present, which is beyond understandable, finding choice within that is really demanding.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that if you choose to speak up, you speak up from power. Again, it's back to and not against the people who have oppressed you, the people who don't listen to you, the people who continue enacting the dominant structures, the people who ... Don't speak against them. Even from an oppressed position, it is possible in principle to speak with power on behalf of the whole.
Yeah.
And that's a hugely tall order.
Yeah.
And I took a risk here. And I want to name what the risk is that I took, which is to speak about this without knowing you. And that risk was based on an intuitive sense from how you framed yourself that it will be well received.
Yeah.
I want to know. I'm glad that my risk met you, but it might have not. That's what makes it a risk.
Yeah.
I can't actually know. I can intuit. And I want to point to this because of this idea of risking my significance. Risking my significance means taking risks. Walking the familiar path that we've been told to walk is nasty, awful. It's awful to live within the pathways that we have been trained to live in, whether it's pathways of power or pathways of disempowerment. But it's not risky. It's familiar. We can more or less predict what will happen. So there is no way of avoiding the risk. And I'm just issuing that invitation to you and also showing people that the risk doesn't go away when you have been teaching for X years. It's still there. It just may be less visible to others.
I really appreciate you modeling what I'm exploring, what here with the group, what is the topic as we speak live and also as an educational teaching piece. So thank you so much.
My great pleasure. Alaska, were you within the thread that I was holding with Thorny or a new thread?
I'm not sure. I mean, it was because of what was being said, I think. And it is in relation to not me being the one that is risking my significance, but people saying to me, we're done, we're not going to take any more. And so it's just all about me now. And I do, so I do see that as a reaction, and
To others' reaction.
yeah, their reaction.
Right. And what that means is that more skill is required of you in order to navigate. It's a very exacting premise, which is I want to always be the one to take responsibility rather than assign it. When I assign responsibility to others, I take away my power. Who is responsible for doing X? My answer is I, within capacity. I, in relation to purpose. So if others react to you and that raises the stakes, the question is still, in this context, with what has just happened, with where I assess others' capacity is, what is mine to do here? How do I take us all forward? Not what's wrong with them. What should they have done? What could they still do? And if I think of something that they could still do, I want to be able to access the place in me that can speak to a vision of why I want them to do whatever I want them to do and make that as a request rather than a demand. Very difficult practice. Very difficult practice. This is not for the faint of heart. The rigor of nonviolence from that angle is extreme. This practice, this thing that we're talking about today, is the crux of it, is the seed from which every nonviolent action starts. If I can't access that in myself, it's going to be tainted. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means being honest with myself. In this moment, I'm not capable of responding nonviolently. And that's fine. Then I mourn and don't respond or respond to the best of my ability. But I want to know I am aligned with how I want to be, or I'm not aligned, and no one is responsible for that. But shit happened that brought me to where my capacity is lowered. That shit isn't my fault. It's no one's fault that we are exactly where we are. It's every second is an opportunity to micro-transform everything that's ever happened in this moment in how I respond. That's the weight of it. I'm wondering if this speaks to you, Alaska.
Not exactly. And it could be that I need to think more about what I'm saying, or but yeah, maybe that I didn't present it the way that I meant it.
Are you giving up right now?
I I think so.
Are you willing to practice right now?
Yeah, yes, I am.
So let's first take a breath and thank you. I just want to say that your being able to say that, no, this doesn't speak to you, is the seed of your power. It's like, I mean, just look at the situation. Here I am. This is quote unquote my space. There are a bunch of people here who seem to get a lot of benefit from what I'm saying. And suddenly you find yourself in a moment where you don't. It's so easy to just not exactly lie, but to just go along and say, yeah, I need to think about it more. but it sounds interesting, which wouldn't be a lie. It probably is true. But it compromises you, and you didn't do that. Do you see that?
Yes. Thank you.
So I want to take that, sit within that little seed of power, and ask yourself the question, exactly what I said to Ronnie before, in terms of what can be said to others. What is it that you would like right now? And how do you tie it to the purpose of all of us learning about risking our significance and finding non-reactive discernment? So I want to show what I'm doing. I'm weaving. I'm not just saying, okay, if it's not of benefit to you, I'm going to let go of the purpose and just say what is on your mind. Let's just keep staying with it. Let's just keep exploring. I'll offer you empathy, all kinds of things until you're ready. I'm not doing that. I'm calling you to a very difficult task. And it's fine if you would rather not do that. But this is what the task is, to find our capacity for non-reactive discernment, not leaning on others to give us something first before we will find it. So I'm inviting you into that in this moment.
What's coming up for me is a lot of emotion that I don't understand from an intellectual place.
Okay, so if what is coming is emotion, I'm stopping you because I want to really guide you in a small way, because I think this is a fantastic opportunity, because it's you now, it's each one of us in another moment. When emotion comes, we again usually go into either or. Either we suppress it or we just express it and damn everyone else. And I want to ask you the question, how do you want to relate to your emotion now in the context of our purpose? Emotion is information. It's not something that tells us what to do. It's information about what is going on within us. I think you know NVC, correct?
I know some.
So within NVC, emotion is information that there are needs that are active.
Mm-hmm.
That's what emotion is information about. There are needs that are active in me. And so we can slide from the emotion, like on a slide deeper into where life lives within us, to see what is the actual need right now, and then choose from the need and not from the emotion. That's how we shift out of the either or, instead of acting out, suppressing, blah, 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 all the things that we have, using the emotion as information to find the need and then decide. And again, I will say it every step of the way. It's your choice whether you want to continue this exploration or say, this is enough for me for now. I'm not going to ask anything more of you.
All right. No, I'm willing to explore this. I appreciate the opportunity. So the
Yes,
emotion
that
happened.
did you see what you just did? It was spontaneous and involuntary. You went, this is a natural, spontaneous way of increasing the space within you for the emotion. And then it settles a tiny bit and you have more ease in looking at it.
All right. When you asked if I could state what I was saying in relation to what we were talking about here, the risking of our significance. And it's happening again. I think that what it is that I am often risking my significance in service of of a purpose that I feel is important.
And may not be shared, I think, and may not be shared.
And may not, and is not shared, but I think is not shared out of just not knowing, not having the information, and perhaps being resistant to it. But
I am completely sure that what you're saying is 100% accurate. And it's shitty and sucky that that is how it is. And still the path is their capacity in this context for me to bring forth what lives in me and potentially shift the purpose of the whole here. I'm not against us trying to shift the purpose of the whole. It's just that if we do that, we need to be able to hold everyone else with tenderness, acceptance, generosity, so that if they react and resist, we accept it rather than take it as proof that something is wrong. And that is rare to have, that capacity. If you don't have it, then you are signing up for a losing fight. It's not about what is right or what is fair or what is ultimately serving life. You may be on 99% of the time, even. You may be on to what is true, to what will take the whole more towards life. I'm not at all arguing at that level. Is it or is it not the thing to do? It's more at the level, are you in that moment capable of taking on what it would take to actually do something in that moment that would be other than fighting?
I find that I mean, if I don't think about it, and when I just act, I am capable of it. And when this is coming up is not when I am trying to do something like this. When it comes up is when other people in a way, what they are saying is they're throwing it away, you know, in a sense.
Exactly. And it's exactly in those moments that you don't have enough strength within you. That's precisely what I'm pointing to. If you don't have the strength to deal with the shitty reaction that you get, then you don't have the strength to do this. You only have the strength to try. And that's amazing. And some proportion of the time you will succeed because you will speak to some opening. But when you encounter an obstacle, you collapse. And that is the place of where there's learning for you in what is leading to the collapse. What can you do inside yourself to grow your capacity, not other people's capacity? You can't grow other people's capacity unless they sign up for it. In some ways, in many contexts, I have a very easy life. There are people who sign up to receive from me what I want to offer them in terms of how they can grow, how they can change this or that, how they can learn. It's like fabulous. And every now and again, there's shit that comes my way too. And sometimes I'm better at responding to it, and sometimes I'm worse. That is just the rigor of it. I just don't want to blame anyone for what happens, not even myself. I want to say, okay, this is a capacity limit. We've just hit a capacity limit. And the capacity limit may lead to war and the killing of millions of people. It's not, capacity limits are not benign entities by necessity, but they still are capacity limits. There is a big fucked up capacity limit that humanity at the tail end of several thousand years of patriarchy has, which is we don't know how to stop war. We don't know how to find peaceful means for addressing large-scale conflict. We have no idea. Some of us think we have pathways. I happen to be one of those. But so what? Collectively, we don't know. How do I know that we don't know? Because if we knew, we wouldn't be having 150, on average, 150 armed conflicts every year. And several hundred years since the last year in which there were none. That's what capacity limits can do. And it's still a capacity limit and not the wrongness of anyone. That's what I'm offering you. It's not something wrong with these people that they resist or whatever. It's like, okay, they don't have capacity. Do I have capacity to deal with their low capacity? If I don't, then I don't try. Then I just mourn.
I don't think that I'm blaming or anything like that. I think instead I don't know, internalize some kind of just nothing mattersness.
Yeah. So you take it out on yourself.
Which turns into just freezing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think we can take it further now. But I do want to give you one piece of something that I think you will appreciate, which is, you've been coming to RTTC for a while. I don't know if just this year, also the previous year, I can't remember. I am seeing you maintaining your sense of self, coherence, clarity, and presence much more than a while back. So you're doing something to increase your capacity. That shows. Is that supportive to hear?
Yes. Yes, it is.
All right. Is it okay if I shift to someone else now?
Yes.
And before I shift, can you see that our conversation and your insistence became a gift for the whole?
Yes. Thank you. Thank everybody. Yeah.
I just want to take a couple of breaths together with you, actually noticing that you have been a gift. Just look around at people's faces and take in that you have been a gift. See, Natalie turned on the camera for you. That's something.
Oof.
That's it. Now I have some trust that you actually took a little bit of this in. Thank you so much for the trust.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything that anybody wants to say about this? I'm really wanting to move to Hank, so unless it feels important. Actually, I would like one or two people to express specific appreciations to Alaska. What was helpful for you? Short, succinct, and potent, as Erin says. Appreciation for Alaska about what you received from this interaction.
It was super helpful to see what you were speaking to in theory, Mickey, immediately applied in practice.
I know. Amazing. Thank you. I was thinking about that. It's like, I can't believe this just happened. Yeah, thank you.
Speaking from a place of power and choice was my gift from your sharing. Thank you so much.
All right.
Can I share, Mickey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciated Alaska's vulnerability at the beginning when she acknowledged about, I can't remember her exact words that she used, but it was something about like level of knowledge, and that really resonated with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Han.
Okay. I have two things to share. One is a situation I brought in at the start, and the second is what happened to me in the first few minutes of this call. The situation is that I am currently working with people who are not receptive to the work that I'm doing. And I find myself in a pattern of not asking for things, things that I think are good for the whole, things that I think that are good for me personally to do my work. Basic things like time for conversation or extra care for people. Because I am perennially in this fear that I am making things harder for these people who are not receiving, creating extra work for people. And as I was typing that out to prepare to raise my hand and press the raise hand button, I realized like all of my fingers were getting cold and then my throat was constricting. All of those things are coming back now. And that was very, very strong. Like even in this space of I've tried to raise my hand here and in a couple of times, it's still like the bodily reaction is still very strong. And then I had a few moments of like having tears about this, about like just how much constriction I have and how much like in these settings, I mean, I have to hide the fact that I'm scared, and just the immense mental toll it takes like just to show up. And I guess
You're talking about these spaces or those spaces where you're doing the work? I got confused.
Both, as in it show up again here, like every time I need to raise a voice or take up space in some way, that came back. And I guess I was just in a lot of mourning around how from the outside, it seems like I'm doing nothing because I'm basically just trying to work through my fear and just stay in that situation. And when I was able to acknowledge that for myself, then my warmth came back to my fingers again, and then I could refocus on the conversation you had with Ronnie. But again, I think my question is just around this really small capacity I have to voice things. And like in the email you sent, it says, bring what is within me to others, imagining it will be a gift. And I've never imagined what I bring would be a gift. More often than not, I imagine what I bring would be like extra burden for somebody else.
Yeah. Hmm. And you said it all now. You actually said it. You feel that you said, you feel it in you. You actually said it.
I don't think I'm getting the question. As in, like, I was able to say everything I meant to say, or
Yes. Including speaking about the fear, even though you said just a couple of sentences before, I have to hide the fear. You said those words. I don't know if you said hide or not show, but you said something that had the word have to and something about not showing the fear. Do you remember saying that?
Yep.
And even though you said that, you still showed the fear.
Yes, in this space, yes.
Yeah. So where I want to go with this is exactly on that plane of where you say I have to hide or not show my fear. And I want to question that. Because, and the reason I want to question that is anytime we tell ourselves, I have to, anything, we bye-bye non-reactive discernment. There's no choice in I have to. It doesn't exist. Do you see that?
Intellectually, yes.
Okay, then I want to ask you to do some homework for the coming weeks. And this is homework that I took directly from Marshall Rosenberg. Homework that he did when he was working as a psychologist at some agency somewhere. And the work is, there are two parts to it. One is start noticing every time you hear yourself say, I have to, just write it down. Tell yourself, I have to do this, I have to not do that, I have to do this. Probably 90% of the time you won't even notice that you're saying it because it's so habitual. But some of the time you will notice it. And if you do this practice, you will notice it more often over time. You just write it down. Come the end of the day, you pick one or two of them and you do a needs analysis. What was the need that led you to say that you have to? Could be a need for safety, it could be a need to contribute to others, it could be whatever. What is the fear that is in the have to of what would happen if you don't do it? And what are the needs leading to that? What are the needs that would not be met if you do what you tell yourself that you have to do? What are the needs that would not be met if you don't do the thing that you tell yourself that you have to do? You just trace everything possible, as many questions that you can ask yourself, so you have a list of needs. Then you contemplate that list of needs. And choose retroactively, because this already happened, choose retroactively in that moment, would you still choose to do the thing that you tell yourself that you have to do? Or do you see a different pathway that would care for the totality of the needs better? You understand the practice? It's super rigorous. Marshall did it one day in relation to writing clinical reports. He told himself that if he was not going to write clinical reports, he would be fired from the agency. When he saw that that was the only reason that he was writing clinical reports, he decided to stop writing them. He was fired. And I tell myself the end of the story is if he didn't stop writing clinical reports, none of us would be here, because he would have stayed some random psychologist in some random agency without doing what we now do. You like the story? Marshall drove a taxi cab for a few years.
I do remember he was sleeping on the porch and in the cars.
Yeah. Is this enough for today? Or do you want more? Are you thinking?
I am thinking.
Okay.
I'm checking in with myself. Am I resisting like the length and the time and the effort it would take to do this until something shifts when the situation comes? And part of me wanted.
We can't solve all of this today. That's not an option.
I just want to check with you. Is there any tips for within the situation itself?
Yeah. Fabulous. So, and I just want to say very clearly, when I say we can't do it today, I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm literally saying the amount of work that is needed could not happen in this, even if we dedicated the rest of the time to working with you. I think this is work over time for you to actually connect with what is at the root of that fear and soothe those needs that are at the root of that fear. And I am just going to take a tiny risk. And Yenny, I am wondering, oh, Yenny is not listening actually at this moment, talking to someone else. Yenny, are you hearing me? No, okay. So I was going to ask Yenny if she wanted to accompany you, but maybe I will remember to ask her another time, to accompany you over time a little bit to support you in connecting there. But for some reason, she's not hearing me because she's in some other conversation. So, Yenny, are you with us?
Relevant to this. So sorry, I missed a little bit your last sentence.
Not just my last sentence. I think it's a bit more, but it's okay. I'm asking if, I don't know if you tracked what I was doing with Hang enough, but I'm having an intuition to see if you might want to accompany Hang a bit outside of this space to trace her fear and see if you can get some mileage there. Are you up for that?
Yes. Yeah. So if you can leave me your email address.
Would you feel free to say no, Yenny?
Yeah, I feel free to say no. I think I'd love to contact Khan. Is that the way your name is being spelled? Khan?
And it's great.
Yeah.
I managed to get her to actually say the way she pronounces it. And I've been trying ever since to pronounce it that way. I don't know if I'm successful. Yeah. All right. So you connect with each other. Before, are you within the same thread, Hannah, Daniel, or a new thread? A new thread. So I actually feel.
Daniel is in the same thread, I think.
Yeah, thank you. I'm in the same thread.
Okay. So Daniel, why don't you speak? And then I actually want to read out loud both the value and the principle that this intro is about. Yes, Daniel.
Yeah, this is not something that will hopefully lead to anything like in the sense of discussion or whatever. I just wanted to put appreciation out there towards hung, I don't know. I have been tracking how long your hand has been up, like your raised hand, your electronic raised hand. At the beginning of the call, you dropped once, and as soon as you came back, your hand went up again, and it was up over 45 minutes. I just wanted to acknowledge your tenacity and, you hanging in there to bring yourself forward. And it's really, really touching. So I just wanted to give you that because you spoke also to what can I bring, something along those lines. And I think this is something that you can bring into spaces, just like hang in there. So thank you very much for that.
Yes, tenacity is Hang's middle name. She comes to RTTC responding to the call of our times in the middle of the night whenever she can. Yeah. She's calling from Vietnam. There isn't a thriving community of people that she can lean on and get support from. It's amazing, the tenacity. Yeah. Thanks. All right. So I am now going to put in the chat the value and the principle. This is the value. Never mind the one, I couldn't take it out. And this is, and a number count. This is the value and the principle that is within it. I'm wondering if anyone is moved to read the value.
I can read it.
Yeah, ignore the italics. They are not significant. I just forgot to take them out. Yeah.
Courage as choosing to take action that risks our significance in alignment with purpose and within care for the whole, even when we are in the grip of patriarchal conditioning.
Thank you. I want to say something about this and then invite somebody to read the principle, which is that much of what we have been focusing on in these conversations, it's just so happened, is the last bit. Even when we are in the grip of patriarchal conditioning, this is the power of values to pull us toward vision. Because it's a reminder that, it's all very nice and good, but What happens when we are caught up in our patterns? How do we find pathways that hold us anchored in something clear and practical that will help us move? Yeah. And is anyone up for reading the principle?
Yeah, I would love to read it.
Mm-hmm.
To strengthen our capacity to risk our significance with non-reactive discernment, we ground all our actions in purpose, liberation, and tendencies towards our own
Tenderness.
Oh,
Tenderness.
tenderness.
And
Thank
tenderness.
you. Tenderness towards our own and each other's capacity limitations.
Which is precisely the work that I was doing with Alaska. It's just staying in that place. It's like sometimes we will have capacity limitations, sometimes others. It is only capacity limitations that are preventing us overall from living in vision. So that's why that's the place to look at. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for reading. I want to pause for a moment in silence and then go to Hannah. Yeah. Hannah.
Hi, so I've been awake a long time thinking about how to ask this. Whether to bring this. And it took me a long time to press the raise hand because I'm not sure if it's within purpose of the call, if it's too much for the call. This particular call, you know. And if it's too much, I'm happy to not bring this thing. But I thought I should discern it together with you.
Okay, so let's discern it before you even say what the thing is.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any part of the value or the principle that you can see a link?
Yeah.
Can you say where?
To take action to risk a significance in alignment within care for the whole and with the tenderness towards our own and each other's capacity limitations.
Mm-hmm. So you see that the thing that you want to bring would support us in that exploration.
It might support me. I don't know if it would support other people. It feels like a very specific personal thing. I don't know.
So here is where I see that piece. On some level, nothing is personal.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing. It's about is what I'm doing just some kind of tiny, I don't know, non like not some trivial thing that's just related to me, or is it something that is also kind of information for everybody that we can learn from? I don't know.
So I mean it in a very specific way. Everything that every one of us ever does is an expression of the human field. It's some expression within the overall human field. It's never personal. To say it's just personal takes you out of the whole. And that would when you take yourself out of the whole, it would change how you bring something in if you bring it. And so whatever the thing is, I want you to bring it with reverence and with solid faith that it is part of the human whole, that is an expression of some struggle, that even if the unique manifestation is only in your life, resonates with deep human themes. I had a writing teacher. I was part of a writing group for 10 years. And there was one time that she came to the group, the teacher, and she said, I don't remember the number, I'm just making it up. She said, there are 14 plots that all novels are made up of. Just variations and combinations on just 14 themes. And maybe it was 13 or 17. But it's the principle that everything, if we look at it deeply enough, is something that is a human phenomenon, and as such cannot be foreign to anyone.
I know, yeah. I guess what I'm wondering is maybe that it's too. What I'm hearing myself tell myself that it's. That if I bring it, I'm going to risk I don't know, like pushing people away from NGL, because it's so. I'm wanting. I guess I'm wanting support, and I don't think there's any way I can get a shared reality except from within NGL. And I'm aware that this is a call that's for introducing people to NGL, and I don't know, yeah.
So I want to, we haven't had a very long relationship, but we've had a pretty meaningful relationship in the context where you show up. So I want you to lean on that and to bring whatever you want to bring from the deepest faith you can access, that this can be a gift, and offer it as a gift. Offer it as a gift. That's the risking your significance. Don't pull away as if you're just one person. Just offer it as a gift.
Okay.
It will change how you speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from in my context, how it's so hard to find the words. Simply by virtue of my context, I'm an agent of patriarchy. I'm
You're
in a
talking
nuclear
about
family.
living in a nuclear family with children. Yes, it's true.
And I want to move away from patriarchy towards vision.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do that without leaving anyone behind.
Mm-hmm.
And members of the family, I don't know, growing towards vision at different speeds. And I still hope that everyone will get there. And I'm telling myself it's such a stupid question. No question.
So right now you are.
That's not the question. That's just the prelude, the bit before.
Yeah, but just telling yourself that this is a stupid question is squarely part of the patriarchal legacy that you're carrying within yourself. There is no such thing as a stupid question if you think about it outside the patriarchal legacy.
Yeah.
So just breathe then just breathe love into the part that says it's a stupid question, and take that part by the hand and walk together towards saying the question with conviction that it's a gift.
I'm feeling stuck.
So then it's not about whether or not the question is a gift. Then it's whether or not you actually have the strength within you to bring yourself forward as a gift. And it's back to what I said in the description, and you live with 3 young ones, and you know how easy it is for them in different ways, at least early on, to just assume that they are a gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to try to make it easy for you to just say it, because I think this is the work. I'm very interested in the question, but I have a sense that going to the question will skip over something, and I just want you to be with this. I think this is the answer to the question that hasn't been named.
It's also to do with, it's to do with what you can and can't, what is spoken about and what is not spoken about in our society, and what is shared with people from so many different places on a video call.
Yes, and the more you are on the outside of the norm, the more strength and skill is needed to continue navigating. That is just how it is. It's not fair. But if we resist it, why should it be this way? It is how it is. So if you are speaking from the margin, you need more strength.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Because living in the margin already takes so much energy, and then more is still demanded of us. I don't like it. And if I fight it, I'm not going to become more powerful. If I accept it, I will.
So I feel a very strong connection with vision, and I feel like I know where I'd like to go. And at the same time, there's this awareness that I want to care for the whole and only move within the capacity that's available to others. And
yeah,
I would like to you've spoken about this in some calls on creating relationships that defy patriarchy, and I would like to find a way to, I don't know, sorry, I'm telling myself to stop speaking. I'd like to find a way to experiment with cleaning the field of like sexual desire. And it's so strongly resonated with me. Some things that I've heard you say about that, and it feels so within purpose to me to try that and to use this as a way to move towards vision. And at the same time, I'm really aware that the field is very messy, and I
think I want to say something, and then I'm actually wanting to put people in small groups. But the thing that I want to say is this possibility of cleaning the field of sexual desire and seeing what may happen on the other side of that is a vanishing minority of people that are even articulating that as an option. And we're not going to solve that today. But it's very clear to me that if anything like that is going to happen, some of us will need to be very strong. And that's the only piece that I can say for the moment. And I would love to imagine that we can have a different space to have deeper conversation about this. And I'm very, very glad that you walked your way to saying it. And I'd like to know who else is glad that she walked her way to saying it. Yeah, many people are. So, time to go into small group. Let's do 15 minutes. And what I propose that you do in your small group is, at minimum, just share with each other reflections from the bits and pieces that we've done. What are you taking in relation to this question of non-reactive discernment and risking your significance? And at maximum, get support to discover what is your next step on that. What is the next thing you want to do with whatever you're understanding? So, Alaska, let's do 15 minutes. That's 14 plus 1. And see you in a bit. So, Nicole and Shaz, you had your hand up before the break. Is that still relevant?
Yes, has relevance, yes.
Go for it.
Thank you. I just don't understand the term risk our significance.
Mm-hmm. It comes from a poem. I'll find the poem and read it. Give me a second. The poem is called I Will Not Die an Unlived Life. It's by Donna Markova. I will not die an unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I choose to inhabit my days, to allow my living to open me, to make me less afraid, more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise. I choose to risk my significance, to live so that which came to me as seed goes to the next as blossom, and that which came to me as blossom goes on as gift, as fruit. And I have a friend who added a line, which I offered her, but she declined. And that which comes to me as fruit goes on as seed. So, recreates the cycle of life. But regardless, does that help?
Still not fully clear to me, actually. I have a sense of the meaning of the poem, but still this phrase, I'm not.
So I can tell you what I understand from it. It starts with countering the idea that we are insignificant and just saying, I am significant. I am a full manifestation of life. I am unique, irreducible, indispensable. Life would not be the same if I was not here. And this is true of every microbe and blade of grass. There's a Jewish legend somewhere that says that every blade of grass has an angel that comes to it whispering, grow, grow, grow. And I love it. Like there isn't anything that is insignificant. Everything matters, including me. And even having to say including me already accept some separation that I believe is imposed on us and isn't inherent to how life functions. So that's the first step, is everything matters. And that's, we could just say, accept our significance. But why risk? Because there are consequences to taking ourselves seriously. And those consequences are risky. If we keep it an idea, yeah, I am significant. I am just significant. I am significant. We're not doing anything with it. ultimately, at least the way I try to live, is everything that happens in front of my eyes or in front of my ears, it doesn't really matter, but everything that happens that I am aware of is something to respond to. Everything. And the risk is huge. You're going to upset people. You're going to this and this and this. Things happen when you live like this. Life is very difficult. And I don't want it any other way. Because if I am significant, then why do I let this thing happen that person A is doing to person B that I know is not working for person B? Why am I not saying anything? Do you see what I mean? Is that now going somewhere?
I definitely got the piece about let's see ourselves as significant. The bit about risking it now is confusing me because how can we risk it? It's what we are. That's what we're saying.
Okay, I think maybe the rewrite would be take the risks that arise from taking our significance seriously.
Oh. This is landing slowly into my brain and body. Yeah.
And I'm very happy that you're asking.
Thank you.
And I think there are 3 people who want to speak to that. So I'll start with Yenny, then Alaska, and then Roni.
Yeah, I think that's especially speaking to the challenge we are living in this patriarchal world. Like imagine we already live in a visionary world, and we are collaborating and we are supporting each other, we're co-holding, then there's no risk that it's just about our existence, our beings. So I think maybe just acknowledging that the current reality, like Miki said, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. And this is a deep one for Yenny. She's been working on it for some years and continuing. And right now, she spoke in response to you, which is something she didn't used to do. She would speak only for herself. So she's making movement in this. It's a journey. It's a journey. Yeah. Thank you. Alaska?
This explanation, well, this phrase, risking our significance, and then the explanation of it aligns with what I was speaking about earlier, that I'm realizing my significance, and I'm also taking the risk of people denying it or you know, whatever. And there are other people, you know, my colleagues, friends, that are claiming their significance, and they're just sitting in that significance because they feel that they've been through too much, and you know, and I know, I mean, I'm not having judgment. I'm not having judgment. But I think that what happened was it brought up the sadness of that's the state, that's the state of things.
Yeah, totally. Roni?
Yeah, I was hearing you speak mostly to the external risks, the risks of consequences, and I wanted to add the internal risks. I'm risking discovering that I don't have as much influence as I would like, that people don't care about the things that matter to me, that I am not able to do things that I want to be doing. I think for me, a lot of the risk is, and a lot of the courage is about being confronted with our own capacity limits and the limits of our power and influence. It's really nice to sit there and imagine that maybe I could make a lot of things happen, and not risking discovering what I actually can.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm really appreciating your question, Nicole. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I want to circle back to you, Hannah, and wondering if anything arose in your small group that you would like to share.
I don't know. I felt very held by my small group, and I'm taking it as an invitation to just trust the mystery of life. Thank you.
I'm not sure I heard you felt held within your small group. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I think the people who needed to be there were there to hold me.
Amazing. There's I think I shared it in some context, so some of you may have heard it. There is a Jewish mystical seeker that I follow, read her things. And she wrote something about prayer recently, where she uses God language, which is not mine, but I try to say things in how people say them, even if it's not my language. That, there's this paradox about prayer, which is that when you pray for anything, God has infinite power, so God could grant it to you. Why would God not grant it to you? And the answer that she finds in the sources is, if it's not aligned with your purpose to have the thing that you want, then God will not give it to you, because if you have that ease or comfort or whatever, it will interfere with you being able to accomplish your purpose. It's a very deep and wonderful thing for me. I love it. And I'm very pleased that in this moment, having the right people was aligned with your purpose. Yeah. All right. So maybe we move to closing, and let's check in first with the new people. We're a small enough group that we could actually close the loop. Karen, would you say if there's anything you're taking with you from having been here today?
Yes. I'm a bit overwhelmed with talking in the group, so things slip from me.
So just breathe for a second until something comes to share one thing that supported you today. One bit of something that you're going to carry with you.
The idea of, before I speak out in a group where I want to change something or in a working context, I go into the frame of my contribution being a possible gift, and saying it as an offering and a request to see if somebody can resonate with it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Very happy that that's what you're taking with you, because that might create ripples. Yeah. And Satya, anything for you?
For me, I'm taking away a piece that you shared about being mixed, racially mixed, and that the relationship that might be there with power internally and capacity, and I'm taking it towards my relationship with my partner. We've been on a journey of, shall we stay? Shall we not stay? Shall we continue? But it's helped me to understand the reasons why I do not have the capacity to continue. And to, yeah, that's basically.
Thank you. And anyone else? Especially people who haven't participated, what are you taking with you from today? Yeah.
So for me, there is kind of the non-duality, or like this weaving the risking or the daring and the significance together with courage, with all of that, which is actually what was my first interaction with you, Mickey, years ago. So it's like it's a continued thread and of trying to get out of the either or, like either being significant or like, and this constantly training and re-understanding this how these things go together.
Thank you. Who else has something you'd like to share? Helen, and then Ilona.
I already did understand the phrase risking your significance, and I knew the poem, and still I'm feeling very moved by your unpacking of it.
Thank you. I'm very glad I was asked to, because then it gave me the opportunity to touch into it on a deeper layer. Yeah. And Ilona?
Yeah, thank you. I had profound insights today, and one of which is that indeed, and that fits to your question at the beginning, or your remark that you haven't seen me in, if that could have caused any whatever reaction. And I realized that, oh yeah, I really feel comfortable with being invisible, and so there's a part of me in certain situations, I just want to be invisible, right? And I learned how to make myself very feeling good with it. On the other hand, it's like almost two sides of one coin. I can be very upfront, very visible, very spoken out and leading and doing all this, initiating things, and I realized that how much they are actually connected, and like two sides of, or a symptom of, not fully owning my power, and how the one side where I'm very upfront, is it's one side of not fully being connected with myself and with others, as the other side, holds that deep belief of what I am, like the bigger part of me is not matching with the sense of I'm not worthy, which is a very deep pattern. So I can't really bring myself together. And
I get that.
So it's still working inside of me. And I also could kind of follow a thread that goes back many generations, that is so about hiding certain gifts in my feminine lineage, that it's not allowed to, or it's so risky to show up, to own that, to be visible, especially in a culture where there isn't any context for it. So it creates a very weird personality around it. And I'm just kind of trying to understand it.
Yeah. Do you come from Christian ancestry?
It's totally complex, to be honest. I just, yes, my parents and their parents were very Protestant, but I also just discovered that my female, like the women in my, like the female lineage, like the main lineage, is actually of Jewish origin, way back. And, you know, it was shut down. It was just disowned.
Wow.
And there's a shamanic thread, if you like, or a gift that keeps coming up that just was so shut down. And I was grappling my whole life with having experiences that I wasn't able to share with others or.
Well, I see that I opened a bigger vein than makes sense to open as we're closing. So I just want to acknowledge that there's a lot in what you just shared that I would want to engage with, and it's not the moment, and I hope the moment arises another time. All right, everyone. That's it for today. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.